Hey everybody, and welcome to week number 9. We are almost home. Uh, this is the week of the great eclipse, so hopefully you guys are out this morning getting ready to view it in your spot. This week is going to be fairly light. There's only one assignment this week and an assessment. So we're sort of winding down. I want to give you guys a little bit extra time to start reviewing material. The topic this week is market failures. So what we're talking about this week is times when the supply and demand market model fails, when it doesn't work. So you've already been introduced to a few of those situations. For example, a monopoly. A monopoly is a situation where the supply and demand model doesn't work, right? A monopolist produces less and charges more than the socially optimal quantity, right? And so you can actually see on the graph where supply and demand meet and the monopolist is not there. But there are some other sort of more interesting situations that are called market failures. Some of them are positive and some of them are negative. So we're going to introduce the concept of something called an externality, like pollution, but there are positive externalities too, like public education and vaccines. So there's situations where the free market either creates too much of a certain good, where that would be where pollution is involved, or traffic, or barking dogs, or something like that. And then there's situations where too little of the good is provided by the free market, like public education being too expensive and not enough, vaccines being too expensive and not enough if you left it just to the private market. And so we're going to be discussing when the government should get involved and how much. So pay close attention here, because the idea, one of the concepts from the past, dead weight loss, is going to come back into the fold again, although it's going to be in a different location. And the reason for that is, when we first introduced dead weight loss, we were talking about a free market that is working, and then the government comes in and establishes a tax. And all of a sudden, some people are pushed out of the market, and there's the creation of a dead weight loss. And that's how you know that there's inefficiency. With market failures, the inefficiency is actually in the free market. And so the dead weight loss is in a different location, and it needs to be removed by the government coming in and doing something. So where before the government taxing was a problem economically, now the government coming in and taxing polluters or taxing traffic, that is seen as the solution. So it's a very interesting juxtaposition and putting things on their head a little bit. I don't think I can change the model here, so I guess we're not going to get to show you. But let me pause. I thought I was going to be able to show you the actual screen. As far as the assignment this week, the assignment is a market failures assignment. It's, again, very similar to that supply and demand assignment where you had to go out and look at a business and examine the supply and demand scenarios. Now I'm going to ask you to go out into your local community, Central Oregon, and find a market failure and discuss it in the realms of what's happening in the module. And there's a list of market failures that are potential. Home prices is obviously always a big topic in Central Oregon. Poverty, income inequality, monopolies. I encourage you to look outside the box and try to find a market failure that that you're interested in. So it's a pretty straightforward assignment. All the directions are there. You can handle it. And then there's a short assessment. So it's a pretty light week. So use this time to definitely start reviewing some material for the final exam. The final exam is going to be tucked into that last week that ends September 3rd. So there's going to be a little bit of work to do on labor and the minimum wage, and then just sort of studying for your finals. So if you have any questions, please reach out. Don't forget to go into your Bobcat account and fill out a student evaluation. I really appreciate when you go in and do that, and future students of this course will appreciate it if you give your honest feedback. And yeah, we're in week number 9. We're almost there. So please contact me if you have any questions, and I hope you have a great week.